Oddly enough, I'm the only one who's not a doctor here, but I was the only one referred to as doctor. Everybody else has PhD many times over. I'd like to thank the Bangalore Literature Festival organizers. I was at their very first fest and a couple of others. It is in many ways symbolic that we're in this setting because translation, about which we're going to talk, and languages crossing borders is also a kind of liberation, breaking out of a certain walls, actually. They're really imprisoned. All the great prizes that translation is winning today is because those languages, those writers, those emotions have broken through another language, through another mind, carrying the double energy. This session is about how Tamil, funded, promoted by the Tamil Nadu government, supported hugely by Tamil writers, academics, translators, first took the step into English, and from there, the Saidoram Dravidam in all directions, moved into Kannada, into Malayalam, and into Telugu. We've done 70 works so far. Some of them are reprints, many of them are absolutely fresh translations, critical works, ancient poetry, contemporary poetry, short fiction, very big novels, autobiographies and biographies. Since this is located in Karnataka, this particular festival, this particular session, we would be paying particular attention to the movement of Tamil works, Tamil writers, Tamil voices into Kannada. I would like Dr. Saravanan, who has anchored the whole project and in some sense designed it alongside myself, to tell you a little more before we ask the anchor editor of the, where's Sreedhara? Oh, sorry. Regional editor, anchor editor as I call him, for the Kannada language, who links us with the publishers who actually select the works because they know the market, they know the tastes, and in some sense, they know how to shape the market. It's not just what the market wants, but what the publisher does to shape the market. I've noticed that in all these literary sessions, there isn't enough attention paid to the role of the publisher. So thank you. I'll now hand over to the biggest anchor here, which is Dr. Saravanan.
Good morning to all. So I'm happy to share my experience with the translation projects, what the government of Tamil Nadu has initiated for 8 years back. So, and it is augmented to the regional languages 4 years back, and now it is going to all, we are attending all the international book fairs, particularly Frankfurt International Book Fair, Bologna, and this year we are going to London also. So the scope of the translation projects and our participation in international book fair is expanded year by year. So thanks to our coordinating editor, Krishnan. Actually, it was started 8 years back with it is a small beginning when Mr. T. Udayachandran was the school education secretary. He was a lover of literature. He only initiated this project. So we met Krishnan madam and myself and Udayachandran sir. And why government has to support promotion of translation. Generally, it is not the core area of the government. Government will concentrate on education, health, industries and other things. But promoting literature is not the cup of tea of the government. Generally, sometimes it is needed. Whenever taking the language and culture, government support is very much needed. So that, for example, we have, generally market decides only the current writers who are popular. So if you take in Tamil, so Perumal Murugan doesn't need a promo from government side. It will go because Perumal Murugan is popular, his books will be going well. for Sakitya Academy award-winning writers, Sakitya Academy is there to promote. So when the government role is coming, so if a writer gets a Sakitya Academy award, that particular work will be translated, but not all of his works. So that Sakitya Academy cannot do that also because they are looking after the endangered country, so they cannot pay much attention. So it is the role of the regional language to take care of their writers. So not only the writers who are living, and the live writers who are no more. So for example, if we take Tamil, Pudumai Pithan is the one of the important short story writer. He is no more. So he cannot go and attend the literary festivals. So somebody on behalf of Pudumai Pithan, we have to represent him. So the government is the appropriate agency to promote the writers who are no more, and we have to take the pride of the writers, how the trend setters in that particular language. That's why the literary path of that language was decided. It is our gratitude to the writers who set the path to the literary path of a particular language. In that way, government has to play the major role. Sometimes when we are translating and publishing with the great international publishers, so the books, minimum number of copies are printed. So for example, if you take a particular publisher like Penguin, they publish around 2,000, 3,000 literary titles. All will not be available in the market. Once we inquired about the famous book Jallikat, a book on a novel on Jallikat, a novel on Jallikattu by C.S. Sellappa. It is Vadi Vasal. It was very popular when the Marina Revolution held. It became very popular. Many young writers, young readers want to read that novel, Vadi Vasal. So many reviews were published. There was rereading was required, and the younger generation want to read that novel. But when they want to read in English, particularly in Tamil diaspora, they want to read it in English. It is not available. It is even though published by Penguin, is not available. So then the government wanted to bring that book back. So we no, not Oxford, Oxford University Press. So it is not available. So Madam has did 6 books with Oxford. So 6 novella with Oxford. That is one is Vadi Vasal. Then we contacted Oxford. We bring it back. That we form an agreement with them. So buyback policy. So they were one or two books will be they will be selling 10 books or 20 books. But that they will be the publisher is not interested to reprint that books. So we gave the assurance from the government that government will buy back 500 copies. So they can print any number of copies, they can sell in the market, but we give the assurance to buy 500 copies from the government, and we will supply to the government libraries, and we will promote that books as complimentary copies to the dignitaries visiting to the Tamil Nadu to participate in various functions and all, and we will promote in academic institutions and all. So with that time, we formed an agreement. We signed an agreement with all the publishers, around 25 publishers. That was possible because of the Mini Madam's experience in the field for the past 20 years. Then apart from taking Tamil to the English, we formed another thing, that is to other regional languages. 4 years back, we designed a plan to promote the Tamil works in regional languages. So regional editors, we appointed the regional editors. For Kannada, or Sreedhara sir is there. For Malayalam, A.J. Thomas, and Geeta Ramasamy for Telugu. So like that, each language we formed a editor for regional language editor. Then once the book is translated into English, then we want to bring it in other regional languages also. In that way, it slowly started. Then we started the international book fair, participating in international book fair. We have the stall at Frankfurt International Book Fair for the past 4 years. So only 4 languages are represented, regional languages are represented in Frankfurt International Book Fair. One is Tamil language, another is Catalan, and Basque from Spain. And Quebec province of Canada is having a separate stall at Frankfurt Book Fair for French language. France is coming, and Quebec province is promoting the books published in Quebec in French language. They are having their own stall. So in that way, we promoted our Tamil books in international book fairs, the European markets, and we are conducting Chennai International Book Fair. So in that, we are inviting even the African countries. African Publishing Network, AppNet is coming, and European Publishers Network is coming. Asian Publishers Without Borders. That is one of the great organizations formed during the COVID period. So that agency is helping us to find out the international partners to successfully conduct our Chennai International Book Fair. In that way, our journey is going. So we had to travel for a long way, but we have begun a good journey in the last 8 years. The 4 years, it is getting momentum. So thanks for giving this opportunity to share this experience.
Bilinguality is a great concern of the government. And by the way, uh, this particular translation project is deliberately located in the educational services of the publishing wing of the government, because we hope to take it through workshops into colleges and also introduce translation in some way into schools when curriculum is revised and so on. It's a big plan for linguistic enrichment. Bilinguality is a problem everywhere in the country, although there are all his policies that talk about why we should encourage and sustain the multilinguality and bilinguality of the country. It's been on the wane for at least 2 generations. We all know why, because of the rush for English medium schools and education in it. But we have with us 2 translators. I'll first hand it over to Dr. Nallathambi. He translates from Tamil into Kannada and Kannada back into Tamil. Dr. Nallathambi.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಮಿನಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲತಂಬಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲತಂಬಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮೈಸೂರು, ಆದರೆ ತಮಿಳಿಗ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದೇ ನನಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಅಂತಾನೂ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಅನುವಾದದ, ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ 35 ವರ್ಷ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾನು ಖಾಸಗಿ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ರಿಟೈರ್ಡ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆಕಸ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಅನುವಾದದ ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು. ಈ ಅನುವಾದ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕೆಲವು ಕವನಗಳನ್ನು ಕನ್ನಡದಿಂದ ತಮಿಳಿಗೆ, ತಮಿಳಿಂದ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುವಾದಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದು ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಉತ್ತೇಜನಗೊಳಿಸ್ತು. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಲಂಕೇಶ್ ಅವರ ಸುಮಾರು ಆ ನೀಲು ಕವನಗಳು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ ನೀಲು ಕವನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 400 ಕವನಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನು ತಮಿಳಿಗೆ ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೊದಲು ಅದನ್ನು ತಮಿಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಕಟಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಅದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಸಾಸುವೆ ತಂದವಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕ BV ಭಾರತಿ ಅವರದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ತಮಿಳು ಕನ್ನಡ ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಲಿತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಥೆ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿಯ ಒಂದು 30 ಮನೆಗಳಿತ್ತು. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಿಂದ ವಲಸೆ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆಸಿದಂಥ ಜನ. 50ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ತಮಿಳ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮಗೆ ತಮಿಳ್ ಕಲಿಸೋರು ಯಾರೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹಿರಿಯರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಓದು ಬರಹ ಬರ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಮಗೆ ತಮಿಳ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕುಂಭಕೋಣಂಬಿಂದ ಒಬ್ಬ ತಮಿಳ್ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ 30 ಮನೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳುಗಳಿಗೆ, ಸುಮಾರು 50-60 ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಶನಿವಾರ ಭಾನುವಾರ ತಮಿಳ್ ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಭಾಷೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅವರ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಇತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದು ಕನ್ನಡ. ಹೀಗೆ ನನಗೆ ತಮಿಳು ಕನ್ನಡ ಎರಡೂ ಭಾಷೆ ಕಲಿಯುವಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶ ನನಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಅದು ನನಗೆ 60 ವರ್ಷದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಭಾಷೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಭಾಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಭಾಷೆ ಕೇವಲ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯ ಸಾಧನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಒಂದು ಆಧಾರ ಅದು. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 3372 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಈ 3072 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 2169 ಭಾಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೇವಲ 10,000 ಜನಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ನಶಿಸಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ, ಅಳಿಸಿ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. 1576 ಭಾಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ವರ್ಗೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 1790 ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಇನ್ನೂ ಆ ಪಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿಸಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 18 ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಅಧಿಕೃತವಾದಂಥ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು. ಉಳಿದ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಕೇವಲ ಮಾತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗಿದೆ. ಈ 18 ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮತ್ತು ತಮಿಳು ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಭಾಷೆ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಭಾಳ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ಪಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ವಿಷಯನೂ ಕೂಡ. ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾಗಿ ಅನೇಕ ಭಾಷೆಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಳಿದು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಭಾಷೆ ಅಳಿದು ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಆ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ದಾಖಲಾಗಿರುವ ಜನಗಳ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಕೂಡ ಕಾಣದೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಭಾಷೆ ಭಾಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಈ ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಅದು ಭಾಷಾಂತರಕಾರರಿದ್ದರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಸೇತುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಎರಡು ಭಾಷೆಗಳ ನಡುವೆ, ಎರಡು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಅವರು ಸೇತುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾತಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ನ ಅನುವಾದವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ 10 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 70 ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳವರೆಗೆ ತಮಿಳಿಂದ ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಿಂದ ತಮಿಳಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ವಂಶವೃಕ್ಷ, ಯಾದವಶೇಮು, ಮತ್ತು ದಿವಾಕರ್ ಅವರ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು, ಜಯಂತ್ ಕಾಯ್ಕಿನಿ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು, ಹೀಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಭಾಳ ಬಲಿಷ್ಠವಾದ ಕಾರಣ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ಮೊದಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಬಿ ವಿ ಭಾರತಿಯವರ ಸಾಸುವೆ ತಂದವಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ, ತಮಿಳಿಗೆ ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ ತಮಿಳಿಗೆ ಅನುವಾದ ಮಾಡಿದ ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಒಂದು 2-3 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಯಿತು. ಮಾರಾಟ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸುಮಾರು 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ನನಗೊಂದು ಫೋನ್ ಕರೆ ಬಂತು. ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಆ ಫೋನ್ ಕರೆ ಬಂತು. ಅದು ಹೊಸೂರಿಂದ ಬಂದಂಥ ಫೋನ್ ಕರೆ. ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು, ಸುಮಾರು 40 ವರ್ಷ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮಾತಿನಿಂದ. ಆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಳಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ. ನನಗೆ ಗಾಬರಿ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಯಾರು 10 ಗಂಟೆ ರಾತ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಇರೋವಾಗ ಅಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೀತಿದೆ, ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ನೀನು, ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೆ. ನೀನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತಲೇ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಉಳೀತು, ನನ್ನ ಬದುಕು ಉಳೀತು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಹೇಳ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಏನಾಯಿತು, ನೀನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಆಕೆ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಆ ಹೆಸರು ನನಗೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನವರೆಗೂ ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಆಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಇರೋದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರಿಂದ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿ ವಿ ಭಾರತಿಯವರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದರು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪುಸ್ತಕ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಓದಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಅದು ಕೂಡ. ಅವರು ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಪೇಷಂಟು, ಈ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ನರಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈ ನೋವನ್ನು, ಈ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟಿನ ನೋವನ್ನು, ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಒಂದು ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ಯೋಚನೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂತು. ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂಥ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು, ಯೋಚನೆಯನ್ನು, ನಾನು ಆಲೋಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟುಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನಾನು ಬದುಕಬೇಕು, ಹೋರಾಡಬೇಕು ಭಾರತೀಯವರ ಥರ. ನಾನು ಇದರಿಂದ ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಕಲಿತು ಅವರು ಹೋರಾಡೋದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನನಗೆ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಭಾಳ ಉತ್ತೇಜನ ನೀಡಿತು. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ, ಈ ಭಾಷಾಂತರ, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸುವಂಥ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೇ ದೊಡ್ಡದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಾನು ಅನೇಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಅನೇಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳಿಂದ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಉತ್ತೇಜಿತರಾಗಿ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಸಲ ಕರೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಯಿತು, ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರದೇಶದಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ರದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಎರಡು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸೇತುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸುತ್ತೆ, ಸೇತುವೆಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಳ ಅನುವಾದದಿಂದ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅನುವಾದದಿಂದ ನಡೀಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಹೋರಾಟಗಳು ಜಗಳಗಳು ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಸರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಭಾಷೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋರಾಡಬೇಕು? ಭಾಷೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸುಂದರವಾದ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಭಾಷೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಅದರಷ್ಟು ಸುಂದರವಾದದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ? ಭಾಷೆಗಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡದೇನಿದೆ? ಭಾಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಭಾಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನಾವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಭಾಷೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಭಾಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ತಮಿಳ್ ಭಾಷೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೇ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಆ ಯಾವ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ದ್ವೇಷ ಮಾಡದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀತಿಸುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತು ಭಾಷೆ ಓದುವುದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಭಾಳ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅನುವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಓದಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೇ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಗಳು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸಗಳು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜನಜೀವನ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನನಗೆ
50 years ago, someone even took his own life when there was a threat to an imposition of Hindi over Tamil. I will now hand over to Dr. Paavannan. Oh, okay, he's also not a doctor. Okay, there's only two doctors. Dr. Paavannan, who will talk to you about his experiences. But once again, language, taking our language forward should really be a campaign now, because there are so many threats to diminish the power of language, diminish the use of language, the understanding of language. There's a lot of talk about AI in translation. AI will translate, but as a publisher I would ask, whose name will I put on the cover? Do I put AI's name on the cover? Everyone boasts, so it can, in 10 minutes it can do 200 pages. Thereafter I just have to do this, I have to do that. Then whose translation is it? So I'm not diminishing the virtues of it or the potential, but we have to think very carefully, because then you're outsourcing so much of your creativity that the human creativity will begin to dip, and your own understanding of language, and unless you go on using this, the muscle of your brain, where the language, the genes are, where the language thing is, it will begin to atrophy. So.
Good morning to all. Thank you very much for the Bangalore Literacy Festival Forum and Krishnan Madam for providing this opportunity to share my views on this topic. Before going to sharing my experience, I want to share a private experience with you. Few days back, one gentleman from Davanagere called me. Actually, Davanagere called me, and I did not answer because I was attending a marriage. I could not attend his call. Then he called Mr. Sreedhara, and he told he has recently read a book in Kannada, Bapuvina Hejjeyalli. Actually, it was my book originally in Tamil and translated by Nallathambi and published by our Tamil Nadu organization and edited by our Sreedhara. So somehow he traced his number and contacted Sreedhara. And
by the way, it's coming in English soon too.
Oh, thank you. And he was talking a lot on this book, and I could understand the way he talked. So much he was impressed. But first, initially he talked with Sreedhara and he narrated. And for 4 days back when I met Sreedhara sir, and he told someone called from Davanagere and told like this. Then I was happy, and because I was not having number, I didn't contact. But that man did not leave me, and somehow he traced me again and contacted, and he was sharing the experiences for 5 minutes. So that book was translated 1 year back, and almost some 1,000 copies they have published. One reader, that book went into his heart, and he wanted to share the experiences. That's the magic of translation. I was mesmerized because 40 years back, the same thing happened to me. I was a college student at the time. I read a translation by Sreedhara Karanth. And I was a reader. Before writer, I was a reader. And at that time, most of the translations are available in our college library. And Sreedhara Karanth's books, 3 books were there. Marali Mannige, Alida Mele, Mugachiye Kanasagolu. All were in Tamil. And I read all the translations. I was impressed a lot. And till today, for me, a bigger writer in India is Sreedhara Karanth and Tara Singer Banerjee. And those two writers, I honored them like anything. And that was the first impression on Shivaram Karanth, and I read it 3 times. Almost all the other writers also were there. But Shivaram Karanth, why I am particularly telling, there is a reason. And at the time I was a college student. Fortunately, I was recruited as a junior engineer in telecom department for Karnataka Circle, and I came to Bellary. At that time, I was not knowing even a single word in Kannada. But the first day I landed in Bellary, I did 2 things. One thing, I went to Bellary prison where Gandhiji was there. And the same evening, the first day evening when I gave the joining report, I went to the Bellary jail. And the second thing, I took alphabets of Kannada. So I wanted to learn letter by letter. Then I had done like that. And I took first standard, second standard, third standard, fourth standard, up to 8th standard books. I read it with the help of my colleagues. That is for reading. For conversing, there were 60 laborers working with me. And all the 60 laborers were close to me. Because somehow they felt as if I am close to them. Because I was always talking with them, wrongly or rightly. I used to talk with them. I used to hear the stories from them, their own stories, their own family stories, and folk tales. Whatever they are, I used to hear from them. And whatever I learned, the initial knowledge is from the laborers only. And I was with the laborers for 10 years. Right from Bellary, Hospete, Koppala, Gadag, Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum. The entire zone, I was laying cable. And I was building the network, STD network for the Karnataka. So that's the way. Then, after learning, I started reading. The first book I read was Chomanadudi. After reading the Chomanadudi in Kannada, I wanted to meet Shivaram Karanth. Then I went to his house. One day I traveled and I went to his house. I was standing in front of his house and he was sitting in the easy chair reading some newspaper. Till the time I had a courage to go there and to meet, and I made so many rehearsals in my heart, and what to talk and how to talk, and what are the things I had to do, what are the first to answer questions, everything I prepared. But while standing at his gate, I did not have the courage because I did not write anything. At that time, I wrote only some few stories. 4 or 5 stories only I wrote. Only the reading experiences I got. So as a reader, how can I meet him? I should be a writer. Then only I can meet him. So with that thought, I came back. I did not meet him. And I seen his house, at his house, that's all. After coming back, and I read again, and I started writing also. And I read almost all the important novels in Kannada. And I have seen so many plays and so many dramas, everything I have done for 10 years. I came to Bangalore. Here, one Saraswati Ramnath, one translator was there. She was translating from Hindi to Tamil and Tamil to Hindi. She was my best friend. And she only initiated, you know everything and you are reading it and you are so much talking about those works. Why don't you translate it? Then I hesitated, I did not do it. But she started a project. She was compiling Indian plays in an anthology, some 20 plays from all the various languages in India. As a Kannada representative, she asked me to translate a play. And she was her request, and she was like my mother. I could not refuse her. So I have done the first translation for her. Then it was the history. I had done 30 books, almost. I am representative of all the novels, fictions, short stories, dramas, articles, poems. In all the genres, I have done 30 books. So it was the way. Why I started the first example, see, as a reader I started, but I ended with it as a translator. That there will be one reader, that is sufficient. He will create a history. That's the magic of translation. It will happen. We have to trust. The organizers should trust. See, Mr. Saravanan is here. He was in charge of the Translation Bureau of Tamil Nadu. And Mr. Krishnan is there. She was in charge of so many publishing works with the associating with various presses in all over India or outside of India. But there is a trust. There will be a dream. That dream we have to trust. Definitely this will make an effect. See, though they are bringing out 100 books, definitely it will have its own effect in future. We may not see in our own eyes in front of us, but definitely it will happen in one day. That one day, definitely, that dream only makes the people to drive for the work. All the work writers, all the translators are having the dream. Their dreams will come to the true. Definitely, I want to share only this message. Dream for brightness. It will happen through languages. Thanks for this opportunity, and thanks for hearing me patiently.
Normally, reading and writing is a very, very solitary activity, but in your case, it was a combined, it was almost a sort of a crowd-funded learning. And now over to Professor Sreedhara, who anchors the Kannada project, and the difficult position of handling publishers, Dr. Saravanan and me in the government, and then the writers and the translators from both sides. Dr. Sreedhara, over to you. We've been working together for more than 10 years. When I was working with Oxford, I used to write the introductions to some of the Kannada translations. So the first person we picked up the phone and the first person we approached for Kannada was Professor Sreedhara.
Thank you very much. I would like to, I have just about 9 minutes, I'll be very brief and quick. Appreciate on behalf of Kannada speaking community and Kannada language and literature, the two exemplary initiatives done by Nallathambi and Paavannan. Singularly, they have been working as a kind of a bridge between two cultures, Kannada and Tamil, at a time when, for some other not so serious reasons, there is a kind of rift between Tamil and Kannada. We always fight over Kaveri, but there is also a bridge on Kaveri. I think these are the two bridges. And another important thing is that usually writers and translators come from the academic field, but these two have come from non-academic fields, and therefore they bring a richer experience into translation. We also have a few more translators. Some of them are teachers, some of them are retired, some of them are working in different places. So this project enabled us, at least me, to go in search of people who could translate directly from Tamil to Kannada. Now, this is a very important shift because usually the translations between two Indian languages happen through English, but now things have got reversed because we now have texts that have been translated directly from Tamil to Kannada, and because one of the books, like the title is called Gandhiji's Mattundu Ratri, Another Night, is a collection of short stories on Gandhiji by different Tamil writers, which Nallathambi had selected, edited, and translated. So that had not come as a book in Tamil itself. That came as a book in Kannada first. Now it's getting translated into English. So there is a reversal where instead of going through English and coming, it's now going from here to there. So that's a very important move. We also need to appreciate the tremendous vision with which this project has been conceived, because in Kannada we have about 5 institutions to protect Kannada language and literature. But TNTB, I feel, is doing something that all the 5 institutions in Kannada could not do together. TNTB means Tamil Nadu Textbook and Educational Services Corporation. The word educational service, according to them, has a very, very broad canvas. So translation, they also think, is a part of the educational process. See, they not only, this project is extended to all the South Indian languages other than Tamil. Just imagine that we select a text, we find a publisher, the publisher will be given, the entire cost of the production of the book is given to the publisher. The only liability that the publisher has is to negotiate the royalty with the original. That's the only commitment. Otherwise, the TNTV it needs another 150 copies, and the rest of it the publishers can do whatever they want. So we have with us one of our publishers, Ganesh. Ganesh, thank you. So he has published the book that I was mentioning. And I would like to also draw your attention to this fact that this initiative, which is trying to bridge the gap between Kannada and Tamil culture, in a way is a continuation of a long tradition of negotiations that did exist in between Kannada and Tamil for a long time. Professor Sheldon Pollack, in his book, Cosmopolitan Language and Vernacular, etc., talks about how the way in which Kannada negotiated with Sanskrit is quite different from the way in which Tamil negotiated with Sanskrit. Now, that shaped two different poetics. I cannot go into the details of it, but I just got an interesting detail which I would like to share. For instance, even in 1906, we had a book called The Art of Translation by one Raghunath Rao. And in that book, he says, though I tried to write this book, which talks about the theory of translation from Sanskrit to Kannada, there is this guy called Modalne Nagavarma, the first Nagavarma, who has practiced whatever I have theorized. And this Nagavarma translated Banabhatta's Kadambari into Kannada. And ironically, he translated prose into poetry. What was in prose in Sanskrit got translated into poetry in Kannada. And this Nagavarma also had written another book called Chandobudi, which they say influenced the Tamil a lot. So there has been a lot of give and take between them. So therefore, since the days of the first Nagavarma's Chandobudi and Kaviraja Marga and Tolkapiyam, there has always been a kind of interaction between these two languages, and which becomes very clear when we see that when we listen to old Kannada, like if you listen to read Pampa, and it almost sounds like Tamil. I mean, we have some similar sounds. And first one. The very first Kannada department was in Chennai, in Madras anyway. So, and so that way, the relation between these two cultures has been there for a long, long time. And there is one more interesting detail to show how, for example, Kaviraja Marga, they always recognize as the first text that tries to recognize the boundaries of Karnataka, like saying that from Kaveri to Godavari. Similarly, there is another Tamil text called Yapparikum Langarigai. I got it, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it correctly, which also recognizes the boundary of the Tamil-speaking community between Krishna and Kaveri. So they say that this kind of recognizing the boundary of province in those days, in terms of river banks, land between two rivers, was not there in Sanskrit at all. It is something that emerged in Desi languages, in native languages. So what I'm trying to say is that what TNTB is doing, look at the very slogan itself. They have such a lofty slogan, taking Tamil to the world and bringing world into Tamil. It's something very exemplary, and I urge that the Kannada Department of Kannada and Culture and so many organizations should also take a leaf from this and then extend this facility further, because Kannada has such a rich literature which should be translated into all other Indian languages, because certainly we are very proud that is the only language in India which has about 8 Gnanapitas. So therefore, it's important that we take Kannada, if not to the world first, let's take it to other India, and bring the other India into Kannada. And the path has been laid by TNTV. So I thank all those who are responsible for conceiving this project, and particularly Dr. Saravanan for having executed it, and for Mini. And of course, we have these people who are, in a way, working on the translation. So let's hope that by the time we meet next, there'll be more texts. So far, we have published about 5 texts in Kannada, directly translated from Tamil. And we have 2 more in the process of editing, 2 more being translated, almost ready. And then we have also submitted a proposal for 5 more books. So totally, maybe by the time we meet next in these festivals like this, we will have together about almost 12 to 15 books from Tamil to Kannada. And I also urge that if the Tamil Nadu government can reverse this process, we can try taking Kannada to Tamil also. Thank you very much.